Steel Nation, we sit at the top of the AFC North 2-0. A sloppy 2-0.
An ugly 2-0.
A very ugly 2-0, man. The Steelers exit the Mile High City with a victory of 13-6. But they win 2-0. This is our first 2-0 start, and I couldn't tell you how long. It's been a couple years. I'd have to research to find out, but we are 2-0, which is good. We did need these early wins. We know the back half of the schedule. These wins really do matter. So in that regard, yes, the Steelers came out with a victory. Kudos to them. Was it pretty? No. Was it sloppy? It always is. It's Steelers Broncos, man. This was the most Steelers Broncos game I can remember. It was just sloppy. The Broncos are in it a lot more than they should have been.
More than they should have been.
It was just one of those things where we kept watching the second half, and I'm thinking, are we going to end it already? Like, yeah, we left points off the board in the first half due to penalties, but are we going to end it already? It's like the second half dragged. There are flags galore from both teams.
As we are speaking right now, a flag has been thrown in Denver.
And another one. Another holding on Broderick Jones just happened. Unbelievable.
You know how many flags we had today? We had 19 total flags.
Between both teams. 10 from the Steelers.
7 of those, I believe, were from the offense.
It was laundry day. It was so bad, dude. Just so undisciplined is this team still. And it took away yardage. It took away a lot of big plays. It took away touchdowns. It took away the opportunity and the chance to end this game before it even got started, before the Broncos could even start a comeback. To end the first half, the Steelers should have been up 21-0. They ended the first half 10-0 because of all the penalties. 3 of them were from Broderick Jones on one single drive.
That was the third drive of the game.
One of them took away a big play where Fields threw a dime to Pickens that would have taken Pickens down at the 5-yard line.
A 51-yard completion. Beautiful pass by Fields. A great grab by Pickens. Just a phenomenal play. Very reminiscent of last week's catch against Atlanta. But that was taken back due to OPI. This time it was taken back due to Broderick Jones at right tackle holding.
Yeah, because for some reason the Steelers think it's a good idea to split reps between their rookie first-round right tackle and Broderick Jones.
Yeah, they like them rotations over at right tackle.
So you would much rather take snaps away from a rookie right tackle that didn't play the majority of preseason.
And that you plan to have a right tackle for the future.
And to keep Broderick Jones, who we know is going to be moved over to the left and more so needs so now, you'd rather keep him at right tackle and trap him there while taking snaps away from rookie. It made no sense in the world. And in fact, it cost us points. It cost us plays. Broderick Jones, man, listen. The penalties are inexcusable. I'm not going to defend him whatsoever. But this really goes to show Mike Tomlin needs to end this right tackle experiment.
And
First
ASAP.
of all, the fact that Fatanu started this game at right tackle, he is healthy, he is off the injury report. He is ready to go. You drafted him to move to right tackle. Why is Broderick Jones seeing time there still? Why is he splitting reps with the first-round tackle? Makes no sense. It is beyond dumb logic.
And quite honestly, for your back-to-back first-round picks, back-to-back tackle first-round picks, it's mismanagement and misdevelopment of your future tackles.
On both of them. Both of them. You're taking snaps away from the right tackle, and you're trapping Broderick still at right when he should be moved over to left. This game, out of all the games, has shown they got to end the experiment and move him back over to the left. I'm not ready to label him a bust. I know a lot of people already are. He's only played one game at left tackle since being drafted. It was the Ravens game last year. When Dan Moore got hurt, Broderick came in, had his best game ever. No pressures, no sacks, no hits, nothing.
No problemo.
Nothing. He's only played one game at left tackle. Move him back over. For the love of God. This game needs to be the straw that breaks the camel's back on the right tackle experiment.
Yeah,
just end it.
Just finish it off. It has now worked. You drafted Fatano for a reason. You got to move Broderick over to left tackle. Experiment with that. Just have Broderick, because after that penalty and after that drive, we didn't see Broderick for the rest of the game. And it's not hard to see why.
No, because put him on the bench, move over to the left, and whenever he's ready or whenever you think he's ready, start him over Dan Moore.
Just have him work on the fundamentals. Have him just continue to work on what he needs to work on. The penalties, his blocking ability, his stance, just his tenacity as an offensive lineman. Put him over at left tackle, experiment over there, and see what you can salvage of his career.
It's as simple as that.
Because it's what he needs. It's what the Steelers need.
It's as simple as that. I'm not ready to label him a bust until we see what he is at left tackle. because we know that's the future plan, and the Steelers are doing everything in the most complicated way to avoid it. And it costs the Steelers points. It costs the Steelers plays. It costs George Pickens almost 80 yards. It costs Justin Fields passing yardage that you're not going to see on the stat sheet. But I'll tell you this, in the first half, outside of the penalties, the first half offense, I had no issues. 0 negatives. Justin Fields had himself an incredible first half.
Dude, the first half was, I would say, flawless outside the penalties. It was good.
They had 189 total yards of offense and 13 first downs. Their scoring drive they had where they finally scored a touchdown. It was their second drive of the game. They went down and killed 7.5 minutes off the clock. Darnell Washington, his first career touchdown. He is so far the only player on the Steelers to score a touchdown all season.
Darnell Washington, who would have thought?
I didn't have that on my Bengal card, but I thought that was great. I thought the drive was great. We were getting first downs. Najee, Warren, Fields, moving the ball down the chains. We used Darnell Washington in the red zone for once. I love the play design.
Yeah, the play designs were very unique. They were different. They were nice. The tight ends were more so spread out. They were out wide. They were very balanced with the offense, establishing a rushing game very dominantly, I would say. They had 95 rushing yards in the first half.
They were aggressive. They were throwing the ball down the field.
And Fields looks fucking good.
He looks confident. He looks motivated. He looks really good. He looks like he should remain the starter. And I still think he should remain the starter, even if Russ is healthy, because he's the hot hand. And so far, the offense, at least in the first half, was looking good. Fields had an awesome first half. The offense, 0 negatives outside of the penalties. Another one was on Van Jefferson, which may or may not be arguable because it looked like the defense engaged contact first. So Pickens could have had a touchdown there. But instead, Pickens was robbed of a big play on Surtain and a potential touchdown, which could have put the Steelers up by a lot more and could have made this game so more of a blowout than what it was. Than what it wasn't really.
What it could have been.
Exactly. You know, it's just the penalties, it hurt the Steelers offense and it kept the Broncos in it. And that was so evident in the first half or in the second half as well. It was flags galore from both teams, but good Lord above.
And you want to talk about conservative. The second half was the absolute definition of that.
It was
I'm talking about the Steelers offense here.
Here, I got some stats for you guys. So the Steelers offense had 189 yards total in the first half, right? 189 yards of total offense. They finished the game with 251. They had 95 rushing yards in the first half. They finished with 141. Justin Fields had 101 passing yards in the first half. He finished with 117. Do the math, they only get 62 yards of offense in the second half. After 189. The Broncos had 62 yards of offense in the first half. They finished with 295.
They outgained us by yardage.
The Steelers had 13 first downs in the first half. They finished with 16.
They had 3 in the second half.
The Broncos had, if I can remember properly, 2 or 3 first downs. They finished with 13. The Steelers had 18 minutes plus of time of possession in the first half. They finished with 32. What the fuck?
All they did, they were sitting very high on their seat, 10-0 against Denver, and then they were just conservative. They let the defense do their job because they were doing it in the first half, and they just felt like, oh, well, we did our job. Defense is doing their job. We'll just get by. And I felt like we've stated that how many times last year? Almost every week.
The offense just gets conservative. They get lazy. They get too comfortable.
And I feel like we stated that 2 years ago.
This is a constant thing.
Here's the problem. It's week 2, and I don't care. I'm saying this right now because this has been a reoccurring thing for years, and it will continue to be. Okay? It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who the OC is. It doesn't matter what different plays they draw up. It doesn't matter what different formations they draw up. The game plan will forever and always be the same as long as Mike Tomlin is here. That's the problem.
They just play too safe. In the first half, I had no issues. I love the aggression. I love the creativity. I love the balance. I love what Fields was doing. I think Fields in general had a very good game. Much better than last week. He looked very good. I'd keep him as a starter. But the offense in general in the second half, too last year. Too conservative, too safe. And I get, they're going up against Bo Nix. They're going up against the Broncos. They're going up against an offense that literally offers nothing. They barely threw the ball down the field. Barely. They have an incredible defense they can rely on. T.J. Watt had a sack. Highsmith had a sack. Casey entered the game with an interception.
Corey Trice came up big with a crucial interception in the end zone.
Corey Trice came up with arguably the biggest play of the game because the Broncos got fancy. They got way too cute, and they capitalized. Shout out to Secret Underdog with it too, man.
Thank you.
They got way too pretty, and the Broncos, they were able to hit, I think it was Josh Reynolds deep on a flea flicker, and that took him down to, the 6-yard line? And then Bo Nix throws the ball into the end zone. Dante Jackson gets hurt on the play prior. Corey Trice comes in, subs in for him, reads the offensive lineup, reads the receiver's route perfectly, reads the quarterback's eyes, makes the first career interception in the back of the end zone, and prevents a touchdown.
It was a wonderful play by Corey Trice.
Which, looking at the game now, if they would have scored there, this could have been tied. This could have gone on overtime. Who knows? Corey Trice with an incredible play. The biggest play of his career. The biggest play of this game, in my opinion. He really saved that.
The 7th rounder coming in, substituting for Jackson, and making a big play like that after what he's been through, injuries and whatnot, having to work his way back, work his ass off, and to make a play like that in week 2 on the road. And a big-time moment like that, that's got to feel good for Trice.
Yeah, man, I think we all feel happy for him. What a play. He needs more playing time, whether that's in the slot, whether that's in the dime, getting him involved. He deserves it. He's making plays. He's healthy. Get him going.
And the defense, absolutely, they did their part.
Yeah,
they did their part.
No negative from the defense whatsoever.
It's just whether it's the first half or the second half, it doesn't matter. Because the first half last week, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I felt like it was conservative, just like this week's second half.
Yeah, so it's
like they just swap halves every week.
Which is kind of familiar from years prior. So, yeah, they literally swapped. First half offense this week was great. Last week's first half offense was atrocious. And then the second half, last week they stepped up. Second half, they got way too conservative. I just felt like after that Corey Trice interception, I thought, okay, we're going to end it here. We're going to capitalize on the momentum.
Put the dagger.
He threw it deep to Pickens. It was defensive PI on Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain had a rough day against Pickens, man. Pickens, the stats don't show it because the penalties took away plays from him. But Pickens is showing you he can be a true number one, bro. He is wrecking whatever corner's going up against him. He is cooking. He cooked A.J. Terrell last week. Pat Surtain had a rough game today against Pickens, man. Pickens is a dog.
Rough.
A dog. But I thought, hey, we're going to end it here. And I'll give them this. They tried to get certain guys involved. They threw the ball to Muth 4 times. Should have been more. They threw the ball to Jefferson 3 times. One of them was a deep shot. But it's just poor execution in that regard. They just have no one else. They have Warren. They have Najee. They have Pickens. They got Muth. Maybe. I think they could use him a little more. That's it. No other receiver can make a play.
No.
So the offense got way too safe, way too conservative. They just sat back, relaxed, and did the bare minimum in the second half. And it was evident because no one could make plays. The Broncos adjusted. They stopped the ground game by a large amount that we couldn't get nothing going in the ground game.
And the Steelers offense, they never adjusted when Denver did.
And Fields only got 16 second half passing yards, dude. Shout out to Anzin with it, too. Appreciate you, man. It's just the offense got way too safe. And that makes us fear that, this is last year's funk all over again.
And that's what we said last week. That's last year's funk. It's just like last year. That's what we mean. And our fear is that it's going to continue into next week and the week after that and after the bye week and toward the end of the season and into the playoffs because it happens every year. That's why we say it's just like last year. Because it's not that much. The game plan is never different. You can change up the cast. That's fine.
Right.
But the game plan is never different. That's the issue. And if they don't change anything, if they don't get better at that, if they don't adapt and conquer and progress, then it's just going to bite the Steelers in the ass. It's only going to cause blowouts to happen, and we've seen that too many times.
Well, I also think it wasn't exactly lack of aggression. it was mostly the penalties. The penalties was really bad.
That's what they got to clean up. The penalties were just ridiculous. 10 penalties from the team.
I don't understand how this line is still so undisciplined.
I think 5 of them were from the offensive line, 7 in total by the offense.
Right.
That's inexcusable. You have to clean that up.
Yes. I think we need to start getting youth involved more. Pickens is a dog. We know that. Fields, I think he cooked today. I think Fields had a great game. The stats won't show it, but the plays he made that the penalties brought back were great. He looked comfortable. He looked well protected in the pocket. He used his legs when necessary. He didn't overdo it. Like, I thought he looked very comfortable. I thought he looked like he has that confidence. Like he can lead this team. It's just unfortunate that certain plays got called back to penalties. But even in the second half, I just sensed there was a setback from the offense. Just conservative play calling, conservative execution, and the penalties didn't help.
No. And if they don't clean that up, if they don't change that up at all, then
they really need another receiver. Obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. But good Lord above. They need another receiver, man. Pickens can't do it all. Pickens can't keep making elite talent look funny. We need someone else. And we need to execute a little better on the offense. The penalties need cleaned up massively. I know in training camp, the Steelers established this new drill where if there was a penalty, if there was a holding, if there was a false start, if there was whatever, the guys did laps. I don't know what Tomlin's going to incorporate, but I know Tomlin cannot be happy about these penalties.
He stated after the halftime show, as they came out for the third quarter, he said we got to clean up the penalties.
This is ridiculous. Flag central for the offense today because this game was too close for comfort, but it shouldn't have been this close.
It should not have been.
The flags took away points. The flags took away plays, but even then, same thing happened in the second half. I just think there were times in the second half where they could have closed it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. That's what we want.
The defense was on the field a little more in the second half, and that's what made this game as close as it was. But at the end of the day, the Steelers are 2-0. A win's a win, right?
We got the dub.
It
wasn't pretty, but I'll take it.
It wasn't pretty whatsoever. These guys got to clean up the mistakes. These guys got to clean up the penalties. They got to clean up the funk of that. And the offense, they got to stop getting conservative. That's something we really don't want to see. Otherwise, yeah. We're 2-0, guys. We're 2-0. That's a good hot start. That's a momentum boost. And we'll see what the Steelers do to improve some of these mistakes because we need it. We know we can rely on the defense. 1 touchdown in 2 games doesn't sound great. It doesn't.
No, Steelers scored a touchdown this week, but they have less points than last week.
Yes.
Jeez.
And for that, I blame the penalties. I really do. Because Pickens could have had a touchdown. That was taken back. Pickens had a big catch on Surtain. That was taken back. Like
they got to clean those up.
Like there was a great chance this game could have been well over in the first half.
If they clean those up, yeah, maybe we could have had more. I'm sure we could have had more. They just got to work on that. But they also got to work on the conservativeness. Like, we can't have that. I'm sorry.
They can't just sit back in the second half.
They can't kick their feet up and think, oh, we're fine and dandy. That's not going to work in the long run. That's my worry.
Yeah, because listen. You can get away with it against the Broncos. I don't know if you can get away with it against the Chargers next week or against superior competition.
Or about the second half of the season.
If you're not
you seen the schedule?
Shout out to Ansel with another 2.
We've got 2 words for you.
Just work on getting better.
I hope so, man. I really hope so. I just don't want to get a sense of this shit again. I don't.
No, that's not what we want. Get in the film room, work on your craft, work on the penalties, work on the execution. Just go into next week.
Agreed.
For the home opener against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Otherwise, yeah, sloppy win, but I'll take it. And I thought the first half was good. I thought the first half was excellent. Flawless first half.
No problem with the first half.
It's just it got too close in the second half, and I blame penalties, but yeah, we're right. Execution needs to be there, and hopefully for the Chargers, they got their game up a little higher because the Chargers, man, they're gonna be bringing the heat. They're gonna be bringing the heat. They're gonna be bringing JK.
They're off to a hot start.
They're off to a hot start. 2-0 for the first time in a while, and JK's cooking it, man. So you can get away with it. You can get away with that against the Broncos. You're not gonna get away with that against the Chargers.
Or Jim Harbaugh at that.
Telling you right now. Steelers need to clean up these mistakes. Otherwise, yeah, we're 2-0, guys. We sit at top of the AFC North. May not be the prettiest fashion, but it never is when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're kind of just used to this.
I guess.
The record says what it says, so we are indeed 2-0. The Ravens, the Bengals are 0-2, and the Browns are 1-1. Decent little start to the season. Decent little first 2 weeks. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. How do you guys feel about this game? We're 2-0. See you guys in the next one. Here we go, Steelers.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace!